Grab your katana and your favorite kimono. Starting in 2024, the podcast begins the second novel, The Tale of the Cloverleaf Lord. Who is the Clover Lord? Find out January 2024. Hi there. You're listening to the Everglade Chronicles, a reading. I'm Garrett Shade, the author. Today I will be answering some of your burning questions in a mini-episode I'm calling Ask the Author. I thank all of you who took the time to submit. I hope you enjoy this little episode. Okay, I'm just going to get started. I believe I have about 10 questions here to answer, so I will begin by reading the question and then answering it. Question number 1. How long have you been writing? This is a really good question. I've been writing for probably 15 years at this point. I am 30 years old, and I've been writing since I was 15. I believe the first story and the first time that it really caught me was when I was in grade 7 and we were asked to write a story. The story could be anything that you wanted it to be, and mine ended up being about 10 pages longer than it should have, and that's how I knew that I was going to be an author. Question number 2. How did you get published? Did you go through conventional means? I do get this question quite a bit. I'm not quite sure if any of you are aware, but to actually get published with a real publisher, like through HarperCollins and Scholastic, is kind of like winning the lottery. It's extremely difficult. It's a lot of hard work. I've written query letters before. I've sent some out and haven't gotten any responses. So in this case, in the case of the Everglade Chronicles, they were all published through Amazon. They have a Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP Publishing is what it's called, and it's a great tool. Unfortunately, you have to do everything yourself, including the marketing, but it does give you a lot of creative freedom, so I found that that was quite good in that regard to at least get my work out there, especially if I'm not concerned about chasing awards or being a bestseller. I just want people to read my stories. So, yeah. Question number 3. Who is your favorite character from the novel? This is a really good question, too. I don't really know if I have a specific favorite character. There are a lot of characters that I really like. I really like Mark Glass, just because he's a very creative, kind of childish kid with a lot of imagination, and I can kind of relate to that. He's also headstrong, and he loves his friends and wants to help out. I suppose it's hard not to love Jessica Walker, of course, the main character. She is admirable, and she's a pretty good character. Another one that I really like is Cassidy Graham, the spy master. She was really fun to write because she kind of just appears out of nowhere. She's got this funny sense of humor, and she knows everything about everybody in the meadow, and everybody looks up to her. So that's those two. Question number 4. When are you starting a new series? Well, as an author and as a writer, I am constantly writing new stories. I think in the time that I've completed the Everglade Chronicles, I've written about 4 or 5 major stories, major novels actually, that are longer than the Everglade Chronicles themselves. I'm currently working on creating a universe and a kind of a multiverse, I guess you could say. So that's kind of why it's been quiet on that front. I've also been kind of looking for a publisher to take those on, as I feel like it's got more potential than perhaps being self-published. I have been writing a lot of short stories, and I've been kind of thinking about maybe compiling them and then releasing them as a collection, but that's still yet to be seen. Question number 5. Have you ever had any problems writing a chapter, such as difficult characters or storylines? No. To be quite frank, I've never really had a problem writing a difficult chapter. The way that I write, I kind of create a skeleton, and I have a certain way that a character will end. So, throughout the skeleton, the character goes through different changes that I am already aware of. So, I already know the difficult chapters and the difficult characters are coming, so I'm preemptive and I know about them. I will often, however, do just a first draft, and then once that is complete, I will go over again and I will change details, eye colors, hair colors, clothing, that sort of thing. Maybe even change the way that the character acts, like their personality or what they do or what they're known for, if it doesn't quite fit the story that I had originally written. So, yeah, no, I usually don't have problems with difficult storylines or characters, as long as I have my skeleton. Question number 6, who is your favorite author? And who do you draw inspiration from? I love getting this question because there are so many great authors out there. And, I believe it was Stephen King that said, if you're not writing, you should be reading. And I find that reading other people's books has really inspired me and has also really improved my own writing style. I guess my favorite author would probably be Stephen King. I've read the Dark Tower series over the last couple of years. The Stand, he's a great literary figure. I also love Anne Rice. I love Margaret Atwood. Amy Tan is another big one. If you haven't read The Joy Luck Club, I would recommend it. It'll make you cry. So there is a lot of authors out there. But yeah, Stephen King, Anne Rice, Amy Tan, Margaret Atwood, those are probably my favorites. Question number 7. How do you come up with names for characters? Alright, yeah, this one is probably the most difficult of writing a story, is finding a name for your character. The inspiration can really come from anywhere. I can draw from real life, friends of friends, TV characters even. If I like a name, I'll just steal it. I don't really know how the characters get their names. They just get them sometimes, and I think, okay, that's perfect for them. I believe this is question number 8. Do you have any odd writing habits? Well, now I wouldn't really say writing a skeleton storyline is an odd writing habit, but it is a habit of mine. I like to plan a story loosely from A to Z, and then fill in the details there. I suppose some of my characters might end up kind of acting the same or talking the same. I suppose I've been guilty of that. But normally I catch that and change it. And no, I don't think I have any other odd writing habits at all. Question number 9. Do any of these characters have real-life inspiration, or are they completely made up? Well, for the Everglade Chronicles, I did take a lot of names from people that I knew, and I kind of mashed them up and mixed them around. And, there's a couple names that are puns, like Benjamin Morrison is really a pun on the paint company Benjamin Moore. Unfortunately, not a lot of the characters actually were inspired by anybody in my life. I wouldn't really say that I had anybody that I just took, their courage or their funniness, their comedy, and added them to a character in this book. No, not at all. Perhaps just the names. And now for the final question. Do I have any advice for future writers? I do. I would recommend continuing to write. And write and write and write and write. Because you are the only one who can control a story that you have written. And even if nobody reads it, it's still nice to get it out on paper, to get it out there, and just complete it from start to finish. But I would recommend not giving up. I would maybe recommend going the self-publishing route like I did. Or I would recommend pursuing a literary career if that's what you're into. I mostly just write for the fun of it. I mean, to be a bestseller or to sell a lot of copies would be a nice added bonus, but I don't do this to make money. I do this because this is a creative hobby, and, writing is an outlet. I love to tell stories. I love to tell outlandish things. So that would be my advice. Just keep doing it. Just keep writing. In the words of Dory from Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. I appreciate all of your questions, and I hope I was able to answer them for you. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, I will be reading the final chapter, Chapter 12. The following week, I will be releasing a podcast episode where I conclude the novel with the epilogue and the author's note, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, have a great week. See you all soon. Shimmer by Captures provides the music. Find us online on Facebook by searching The Everglade Chronicles or at Everglade Chronicles on Instagram. I appreciate your support. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Everglade Chronicles novels, you can find them exclusively on Amazon. Thank you and see you next week.